Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing great. My name is Isha and I'm a life coach for emotional freedom and becoming your highest version. So today's session is for those who have tried multiple times to save someone, to always be their shoulder to lean on, to rescue them from the consequences of their own actions and still failed, losing themselves in the process of saving their loved ones. And no, I'm not going to talk about stop caring for them or stop loving them. Not at all. But if you genuinely want to save someone, if you truly love and care for them, then let them fall. Because the more you rescue, the more they sink. So let adults be adults. Let them face the challenges and consequences of their actions because sometimes that's the best way for them to discover the strength and wisdom they already have. And you be the let me part in their lives. Support them when they need it, but don't carry their lessons for them. And meanwhile, choose yourself and make your decisions based on your own value system. Okay, I have said this many times. People only change when they feel like it from within. Okay, so no matter how much you want someone to change, how valid your reasons are, or how big the consequences might be if they don't, if someone doesn't feel the desire to change themselves now, they won't. Okay, and worse, if you pressure them to change, the relationship becomes more strained and it only creates tension and resentment for everyone. Okay, so it could be your mom, your spouse, your kids who are now adults, your best friend, or anyone. Okay, because the truth is now when you push someone, it only makes them push back. Okay, because you're working against one of the fundamental laws of human nature, which is people need to feel in control of their own decisions. Okay, so when you start making decisions for them now, it only creates more resistance for them to follow through. Okay, you can clearly see that their life would completely change if only they start doing this one thing or stop that one habit. But the more you insist, the worse it becomes. Okay, because change is hard for everyone. No one wants to feel pressured by you because they have already pressuring themselves deep down. So the most loving thing you can do for someone you care about is to stop pressuring them and just let them be. Let adults be adults. Adults only change when they feel like it. We humans are wired to move toward what feels good in the moment and away from what feels hard right now. Okay, so they know change is painful, uncomfortable, so they keep avoiding it, usually until they hit rock bottom. Okay, and since we are wired to seek what feels pleasurable now, when you pressure someone now, you are actually fighting against the wiring of human brain. Okay, so pressure doesn't create change, it creates resistance to it. Okay, and no one want to feel pressured by their friend, family, or their loved ones. Okay, so what people truly seek from you is unconditional love, acceptance, kindness, and compassion. Okay, they don't want to be controlled, they just want to feel deeply accepted for who they are and where they are in their life at present. Okay, so from now onwards, stop pushing them to change on your timeline. Stop trying to motivate them to do something they clearly don't want to do. Loving people means meeting them where they are. You must learn how to let adults be adults. Always remember, there will be times when making the right decision for yourself will be one of the hardest decisions of your life. Okay, so let them be on their own timeline. Let them give up. Let them be messy. Let them face the consequences of their inaction. Let them stay in that miserable state. Let them live their life. I know it's hard, really hard, to see someone you love in that state. But you have tried, and things only get worse when you are ready, but they are not. Okay, so let them be who they are. Let them grieve over their losses. Let them fall and rise on their own. Okay, so what you can do instead to show your unconditional love, care, and support by controlling the only one thing that actually is in your control, and that's you. This is where your true power lies. Stop pressuring them and start accepting them just as they are. Okay, when you accept people as they are now, the frustration, the anger, the guilt, and the endless ineffective battle for control all begin to fade. Okay, and that's when you set yourself up for a real positive change. Okay, so how do you bring that positive change? By becoming an influence. Model the behavior change you want to see. Okay, walk the talk you have been asking for. Okay, that means focusing only on what you can control, which is your own behavior. Okay, so model change, make it look easy, natural, and even fun. Okay, and I promise you, this is a science backed approach. Humans are social beings, we are deeply influenced and inspired by the people around us. Okay, but there is one important thing: do this without expecting them to change, because if they don't now, you will only end up feeling resentful later. Okay, because sometimes it take months or sometimes it take years for someone to be influenced by your energy and your actions. Okay, so the key here is to create space for others to believe they want to change from within, not because someone else told them to. Okay, when you give people space to come to their own realizations now, and you focus on showing up as your full authentic self with love and compassion, over time they often change on their own. Okay, it only takes one person to change how they show up in a family, and the entire system can begin to transform, and that person is you. Okay, so don't shield them from the consequences of their choices. You own people your love, your acceptance, your compassion, but you don't owe them your money, your energy, or your peace of mind. Okay, so let them struggle if they must. Maybe this is exactly the wake up call your loved one needs. Okay, and letting them struggle doesn't mean abandoning them, it simply means being their support while giving them the space to heal themselves. Remember, you cannot want someone's healing more than they do. Okay, so when you try to rescue people from their own problems now, you actually hinder their healing. How? You prolong their suffering, because eventually now they will still have to face those same challenges to learn the lessons they were meant to learn from that situation or that person. Okay, so instead of rescuing them, support them, but with healthy boundaries. Let them become responsible for their own healing and growth. Remember, facing hardship is a necessary step for a person's evolution. Okay, so believe in their ability to heal and grow. Okay, create an environment where change is possible, but never force it. Okay, so stop wasting your precious life on things that you cannot control, because the more you let people be who they are now, think what they think, feel what they feel, the stronger and healthier your relationships will become. Okay, you will realize most of the things you worried about were never worth your energy or even time. Okay, we waste so much of our life trying to make others match our expectations. Okay, so let them be themselves, because through that they are revealing who they truly are to you. Okay, and let you get to choose what you want to do next. Okay, and by doing this, you are applying one of the core principles of Stoicism. Focus on yourself, because that's where your true power lies. And when you do that, you reclaim your emotional freedom. Now, this isn't same as letting go. When you allow others to be who they are, you are making an empowered choice to release control over a person or a situation you never truly had control over in the first place. Okay, anytime you let another person's thought, actions, or feeling dictate how you feel now, you are given your power away. Okay, so take it back. When you say let me, you take the responsibility for what you do next, whether it's accepting things as they are or taking a step forward for yourself. Okay, and this isn't about superiority at all. Okay, as beautifully said by Mel Robbins, the more you allow people to live their lives now, the better your life will get. Okay, so it's about balance. It's about making space for both you and someone else. Okay, let me develop better boundaries. Let me take care of my desires, my happiness, my goals. So why get stressed about things beyond your control or about things that don't even matter? Okay, the moment you tell your brain now let them be, you are signaling to yourself that it's okay and this is not worth stressing over. Okay, so from now onwards, for anything that's not in your control, let it be. Not every conversation needs your participation, not every situation needs your response. You don't always have to have the last word. Okay, just tell yourself, let me breathe, let me calm my nervous system. Protecting your mental peace and your energy is your responsibility only. Okay, so by saying let them be, you also give yourself the permission to say let me be who I am. Okay, so if your boss isn't giving you the promised or well deserved bonus or promotion, let them be. Where your power lies is in finding that amazing new job opportunity, that better salary, that fulfilling job waiting for you to claim it. Okay, and it might take 6 months to find it, but if you stay stuck where you are choosing to remain in a job that makes you miserable. Okay, and that's what empowerment really means: making better choices about what worth your time and energy, and knowing when something is worth fighting for or when it's time to walk away. Okay, let people judge you, let them mistreat you, let them disapprove of you, but let me make those small, bold, unapologetic moves that over time will transform my entire life. Okay, because every time you hold yourself back because of what others might think, you are engaging in self rejection, and that only magnifies your self doubt. Okay, so you are doing it to yourself. Okay, so give people the freedom to think negative thoughts about you, to judge you, to blame you, to criticize you. Start living your life in a way that makes you proud of yourself. Let me do what I want to do with my one wide, passionate, and precious life. Okay, so starting today, the day you are watching this video, give others the freedom to think what they want about you. Because here is the secret: when you are proud of yourself, now you hold all the power. Don't be the person who bends over backwards to make everyone happy. Let you make yourself happy. Okay, you will always come last if you let other people's emotional immaturity have power over you. Okay, so it's time to stop being manipulated by someone else's guilt, anger, or disappointment. Other people emotional reactions are not your responsibility to manage. It is not your job to fix them. Okay, your responsibility is to protect yourself from their emotional spiral and see it for what it is. Okay, stop feeling sorry for people who play victim all the time. Okay, stop explaining away someone's narcissistic patterns all the time. Stop responding to that passive aggressive behavior or those silent treatments. Okay, most people don't know how to process their emotions in a healthy way, let alone communicate their needs directly and respectfully. Okay, so stop letting other people's emotional immaturity run your life. Okay, and if this applies to you also now, then now you are aware of it. Start consciously working on your own emotional self, because self awareness is always the first step towards any change. Okay, and whenever you find yourself at crossroads and you choose to inflict pain on yourself instead of making the right decision just because it might hurt others, remember this: avoidance doesn't mean escape. What feels easier now will only make things harder later. Okay, so choosing not to do what's right for you will only bring more pain and deep regret down the road. Okay, so your responsibility is to live your life in alignment with your values in a way that brings you peace and fulfillment. Okay, life always has a way of finding a new normal, so never let other people's emotional reactions stop you from making the hard decisions you know are right for you. Okay, and in the end, it's all about giving others the space to experience their emotions without making it your responsibility to fix them, and finding the courage to make the right decisions for yourself even when it feels wrong to others. Okay, and never forget one thing: people can only meet you as deeply as they have met themselves. Okay, now comes the call to action part. Take a moment and think of any three situations in your life where you need to let go of the control and simply let them be. It could be someone's health that worries you, but they are not taking responsibility for it. A situation at work that feels unfair but is beyond your control. A person you are seeking love or care from, but they keep pushing you away. In each of these situations, now use the mantra, let them be. And then, in contrast, find three things that are within your control where your role begins. For example, taking care of your own health and routine, saving your time and energy instead of chasing anyone's approval or love. Focus on your habits, your peace, and your purpose. Okay, anything that's within your control, start practicing that from today itself. Okay, with this, I close today's session. See you in my next one. Till then, take care and remember, sometimes the most powerful act of love is to simply let them be.